Hello guys, so we're going to learn how to solve system of linear equations. Remember that when you solve something on math, you need to have an open mind and always remember that you have the mind of Christ. Okay, system of linear equations. We have different ways of linear equations. We can have it with one solution, with no solution, or with many solutions. When we have one solution, as you can see on here, we have one point where they intersect. When there is no solution, there is no point that they intersect. And when you have different solutions, there's not just one line. There are two, but one over the other one. So, when you have one solution is what we will learn on this video. So, please pay close attention to these so we can learn it really well. Okay, we're going to start with this example. In every system of linear equation, we have two equations working with. We have, in this case, x plus y equals -2 and x minus 2y equals 7. Okay, I'm going to define that each equation is different. So I need to work with both of them. This way I'm going to place this is number 1 and this is number 2. And I'm going to separate each one so I can work with them. I'm going to solve this one using intercepts. Okay, when I solve it using intercepts, I need to find which is my x-intercept and my y-intercept. And I also need to do it with the other equation, x-intercept and y-intercept. Okay, now that I define these, I'm going to start working and solving for my x-intercept. Remember that when you work with your x-intercept, your y equals 0. So I'm going to place my y as a 0. X plus 0 equals -2. If I take away my 0 because I don't need it, this means I have x equals -2. So my order pair will be -2, 0. Now I'm going to do just the same but with the y-intercept. And when I work with my y-intercept, my x equals 0. So I'm going to place 0 plus y equals -2. I take away my 0 and I just have y equals -2. Now I need to find my x-intercept for my second equation. Okay. My second equation is x minus 2y equals 7. Finding this, I have that my y will be 0 because I'm working with my x-intercept. So -2 times 0 is 0, and I have x minus 0 equals 7. I take away my 0 and I'll have x equals 7. Now, I'm going to have in here with my y-intercept. In my y-intercept, I have that x minus 2y equals 7. Doing this, I'm going to place my x as a 0. So, I'm going to have 0 minus 2y equals 7. Having this, I move my -2 to the other side, and I have -2y divided by -2 in order to cancel these two numbers equals 7 over -2. Now that I make this, I have y equals -7/2. And this is an improper fraction as you can see, so I'm going to make it a mixed number. Y equals -3/1/2. So, this means my order pair will be 0, -3/1/2. Okay, now that I find this, I'm going to make my graph. And how I'm going to make my graph? Well, I'm going to define that these equations and the solutions I find, -2, 0 and 0, -2. And for the second equation, 7, 0 and 0, -3/1/2. Now I'm going to make my graph so I can solve it graphically. And I have in here the first 2 points, -2, 0 and 0, -2. Now I connect these two, and connecting these two, I have this line. Now, with my second equation, I have 7, 0 and 0, -3/1/2. I connect these 2 points again, And now I look, which one is my solution? My solution is the point where these 2 points connect. So as I can see on here, my solution is this, 1, negative 3. Okay, now that I find that my solution is 1, negative 3, I can solve it algebraically. Solving it algebraically is using these equations I have in here and substituting with the values of x and y I find in the graph. So instead of having x plus y equals negative 2, I'm going to have 1 plus negative 3 equals negative 2. I take away my parentheses and I'm going to have 1 minus 3 equals negative 2. Okay, now that I find this, I have 1 minus 3, how much it is? Negative 2. So negative 2 equals negative 2. This way I find that this one are correct because they're just the same. But I need to do just the same with the second equation because I need to see that in both equations I have the correct answer. So I'm going to work with my second equation. X minus 2y equals 7. Again, I'm going to substitute my values and I'm going to have 1 minus 2 times negative 3 equals 7. This way I have 1 plus 6. Why plus 6? Okay, because if I multiply negative 2 times negative 3, this makes a positive 6. That is this number. Now, how much is 1 plus 6? 1 plus 6 is 7. And does 7 equal 7? Yes. So this way, I got that both of my equations are correct. So this means that my correct solution is 1, 3 for this system of linear equations. Okay, right now we solve it using intercepts. But we can solve it also using our slope-intercept form. So we're going to make the same example using the slope-intercept form so you can use the way you think is better for you. Again, I'm going to separate each one, the first one and the second one. So I have in here, which is my slope-intercept form. I need to define which one it is. So I define that my slope-intercept form equals as y equals mx plus b. Knowing that my slope-intercept form is this one, I can see that these two equations are not on the slope-intercept form, so I need to leave my variables completely alone. When I leave my variables completely alone, I have y equals negative x minus 2. I move this positive x to the other side as a negative. Now that I have my slope-intercept form, I need to define which one is my slope and which one is my y-intercept. Okay, how I'm going to do it? Well, my slope is the m I have in here. So the number next to the x is my slope. In this case, I have an imaginary negative 1 in here. Because you cannot see the 1, but it's a 1. And negative because the x is negative. So this means I have a negative 1 here. And my slope is negative 1 over 1. Don't forget that a slope always needs to be in a fraction. So, now with my y-intercept. My y-intercept is the negative 2 because it's the number I have alone on here. Is my b. Now that I find my slope and y-intercept for the first equation, I need to do it for the second equation. In my second equation, I have x minus 2y equals 7. Okay. But this is not in the slope-intercept form, so I need to leave it in the slope-intercept form, leaving my y completely alone. So I'm going to move my x to the other side as a negative because in this side is adding, so on the other side goes subtracting. I have just negative 2y equals negative x plus 7. Now that I have this, I can see that still my y is not completely alone because I have a negative 2 on this side. So I'm going to move this negative 2 dividing to the other side because in here my 2 is multiplying the y. So I divide everything by negative 2. Negative 2y by negative 2. I cancel my negative 2 on here and also I divide on here. Negative x divided by negative 2. Both of them are negative as you can see. And in here 7 divided by negative 2. In this case, as you can see, both of them were negative. So what I'm going to do, well, negative and negative becomes a positive number. So I have 1/2 x minus 7/2 x. But 7/2 is an improper number, so I need to make it a mixed number. And I'll have y equals 1/2 x minus 3/1/2. Okay, now that I have it like this, I can say that I have it in the slope-intercept form. So I need to define which one is my slope and which one is my y-intercept. My slope is the number next to the x, and it's 1/2. And which one is my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept is this one, the one I have alone on here. It's negative 3/1/2. Okay, now that I define which one is my slope and which one is my y-intercept, I'm going to graph it. I defined my values I have of my y-intercept and my slope for number 1 and my y-intercept and my slope for number 2 equation. Now I need to graph it. I make my graph, and don't forget that when you solve with the slope-intercept form, you need to find first which one is your y-intercept. Always graph first your y-intercept. So I'm going to start with number 1 in 0, negative 2, that it will be here. Now, my slope is negative 1 over 1. Don't forget that when your slope is negative, you move down. So I move 1 down and I move 1 to the side. This means my slope, my change will be on here in 1, negative 3. Now, I'm going to graph my second equation. But before that, I connect these 2 points. Now, my y-intercept for the second equation is 0, negative 3/1/2. That is over here. Now, where is my slope? My slope is 1 over 2. If it's positive, I move up. So I move 1 up and 2 to the sides. 1, 2. This means my point is on here. Now, my order pair on here, when I move with my slope, will be 2, negative 2/1/2. I connect my 2 points, and as you can see, the point where they intersect, with both equations intersect one with the other one, is 1, 3, negative 3. So I find my solution in here. And now that I solve it graphically, I'm going to solve it algebraically. Algebraically, it's just the same. X plus y equals negative 2. And I'm going to substitute with the values I find. 1 and negative 3. 1 plus negative 3 equals negative 2. And I take away my parentheses and I have 1 minus 3 equals negative 2. This way I have negative 2 equals negative 2. And as you can see, it's correct because negative 2 is equal to negative 2. But I need to do it with the second equation also. So I'm going to place my second equation. X minus 2y equals 7. And I substitute my values of x and y. 1 minus 2 times negative 3 equals 7. Okay, I have 1 minus 2 times negative 3. And I multiply these two numbers. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And I have 1 plus 6 equals 7. I add these two numbers, and this way I have 7 equals 7. As you can see, in both cases, my answer is correct. Negative 2 equals negative 2, and 7 equals 7. So this means that my answer is correct. As you can see, we solve it in 2 different ways. We solve it using intercepts, and we solve it using the slope-intercept form. You can solve it the way you prefer, and it will be correct. So thanks for watching, and remember that if you have any doubt, you can ask it in the comments below. And that's all for today.